Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. So yesterday we were working on a tutorial to show some hotkey features on Nox Emulator, and I don't really know what happened. The stream just kind of died somehow or another. Twitch just kind of crashed, and then it came back up, and it was late, and I didn't want to bother with it again. So we're just going to take it from the top today. So yesterday I talked about that Nox emulator is my recommended emulator, and that's over BlueStacks specifically. BlueStacks doesn't seem to run the game nearly as well. It lags a lot. It locks up. The typing features are really bad on BlueStacks, and you just don't have that with Nox. It's pretty fluid. The zoom mechanics are pretty good on Nox, even for an emulator. Overall, just the responsiveness is good. I've only had a few times where it locked up just a little bit, and that's if I have a lot of stuff running on my laptop at once. If you're using a decent computer, especially if you're using a gaming computer, you're probably going to have zero issues with Knox. So that's my recommendation. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple of screenshots real quick because the Knox overlay is actually a pain to get to show on the stream using OBS how I have it. So I just have a screenshot for you. If you look at the screenshot, you see all these little numbers and you see these letters that are kind of overlaying everything. Those are optional. So I have those on my screen right now. That's what I look at right now when I undock. I can turn those off so I don't see anything. But for right now, it represents everything that I have pathed to a hotkey. Okay. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you the couple buttons that you need to click in order to set up your hotkeys so that you can select targets, you can automatically approach things, you can engage, disengage modules, everything from guns to special modules, repairs, anything. And it's really simple. What I want you to do is I want you to take a look at the top right corner of Knox, just below your minimize and your exit. There's a four-way triangle, and then right before the four-way, or sorry, four-way arrows. Right below that four-way arrows is a keyboard, essentially. It looks like a keyboard. It's three little dots and a space bar. You click that, and this screen is going to open up. This is your actual setup screen for your hotkeys. This is where you do all of your mapping. You can see that there's a couple different rows of features. The one we're going to be talking about specifically is the single click. Okay, so that's the one, the top center circle is single click, and that does most of your stuff. Now, before we get too deep into that, you kind of see that there's a T in the middle of my screen. So the T that the circles are making right now, the top row from right to left are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those represent targets. So when my overview is expanded, the targets, if you haven't paid attention to this, when you expand your overview, the targets shift left into the middle up top of your screen. So when I open my overview in combat, which I conveniently have set up with my tab button. If you look at the right corner or the center right, you can see it says tab. It's hovering over the little eye icon. So that's my overview. And I'll show you that when we go live in game. I just click tab, the overview expands to my left, and it pushes my targets center of my screen. The targets will then line up with those numbers 1 through 6. So you can see right there, I've got 4 targets lined up 1 through 6. The next thing I've done is I went into like a really easy area for ratting, just like a level 1 anomaly or whatever it may be, and I click on target number 3. And target number 3, I get that drop down menu, and you've got lock, approach, orbit, and focus fire. Those are the most important ones for me. You can do whatever you want with your hotkeys, but those were the ones I thought were most important. And the way I did this, by clicking on target number 3, the box left and right laterally will actually be covered by those hotkeys on targets 1, 2, and 3. I think you got to adjust your screen size a little bit to make sure it will cover target 4. But you can do it if you shrink your screen just a little bit. The box will cover it just enough to where it'll click it. So right now, if I hit the number 1 on my keypad, that menu will drop down under target 1, and you'll see that L for lock, that A for approach. The C I have is orbit just because it's same side. I'm left-handed, so I want it kind of where my ASWD keys are for a normal MMO. And then I've got F for focus fire. Basically, I kept it so that my left hand can hit everything, so my right hand can stay on my mouse for anything that's not hotkeyed. But yeah, so I can hit 1, 2, 3, or 4, and I can immediately select one of those options if I want to. At the same time, you can see my master targeting icon, which is the thing that kind of looks like the multiple circles within a circle that you normally hit to target your max amount. I have that hotkeyed to a T, so you see the letter T there. Just below that, you can see that I've got a large circle with two magnifying glasses. One is minimize, one is maximize. Those are hotkeyed to my plus and minus key. So again, I'll show you in game how quickly that works too. It's actually quicker, in my opinion, than if you're on a mobile device using your fingers. So it's really good as an option to zoom in and out. And then I've got everything else just kind of keyed up the way it's convenient for me. So every ship is going to have a little bit different slots. So that's going to kind of change how you have everything set up. But I've got like my space bar as my weapon. I've got a web on my ship right now, so I've got that queued up, hotkeyed under W. I've got a NOS on the ship. I've got that as like a special, so it's a special device. So I hit S. My R is my primary repair, so that is keyed to my R, which is my shield booster, and then I've just got an E over there. For me, I just kind of keyed it in my head as it's emergency. So it could be damage control, it could be an invul field, an armor hardener, whatever the case. And then I wasn't really sure what to do with my afterburner, my prop mod. So afterburner or micro warp drive, I just queued it to or keyed it up with Q just because it was another convenient key over there near the WASD pad, right? So these are really, like I said, these are really easy to set up. You just hit that keyboard and then just play around with it. I advise everybody just to go find a really easy to kill rat that's not going to kill you in any amount of time. Open up this overview while you're near the rat and just kind of figure it out as you go. That's really what I did. And then I just took some time to kind of learn my keys. So let's go take a look in game and let's go poke around, see if there's any reds in the system to poke at. There's one. Oh man, it would have been way cooler to have live fire on actual reds. Maybe they'll come when I undock and I'm streaming. All right, let's go check out these hotkeys. Okay, so like I said, you can't see my hotkeys on my screen. I can see faint white letters because I've got at the very bottom corner, you'll see a little slide bar. Here, I'll go back to it real quick. Okay, at the bottom right corner, you can see a slide bar. That's the opacity. You can change that all the way up to max, and it'll be a black circle, or you can go all the way down, and it's going to be a faint letter. If you go to 0, it disappears completely. So if you're comfortable with your hotkeys, you can make it disappear completely, and then it'll look exactly like my stream right now. All right, so I'm mouse free right now. I hit tab, this comes up, right? So like I said, I keep my mouse for whatever's over here that's not hotkeyed up. Let's just go take a look at the base because I know those are easy rats that I can just poke at to show you guys how this works. I'll even close the overview again. All right, nice slow warp, taking forever. We'll get there eventually. My biggest complaint about emulators in general is the low quality. So you can see the graphics quality. So right now I'm using my minus and plus. So you can see that the zoom feature actually works really well to zoom in and out. I don't have to hold control and mouse wheel or grab the screen. It's just literally clicking plus and minus. Okay, so there's two enemies over here. All right, I'm going mouse free, so let's watch how this works. So I hit T for my target, it's targeting everything. Now you can see they're still over on the right side. If I hit tab, boom, they're shifted over. So now they're hotkeyed under the 1 and 2s. So targets 1 and 2. So let's say that I want to orbit target 2, I hit C. I now want to approach target 1, I hit A. I'm approaching target 1, but I'm going to go ahead and focus fire on target 2. So see how that works. Q activates my prop module. I hit that R button. Now I'm repping. Again, I can hotkey my web. I can hotkey my Nosferatu. It's really, really easy. I'm not even, like I said, I'm not touching my mouse right now. The only thing I would touch my mouse for is I want to adjust my camera. So there I go. I've just adjusted my camera. Now I'm looking this direction. I can turn my guns off here. Cool. My gun turned off. Now I'm just webbing him. Amazing. And turned everything off. And there it is. Like it's really that simple. I don't have another hotkey set up to close the menu, but I easily could. I could just put something else over there, maybe an unused key that's close to it, maybe Z or something, and then it'll go away if I don't want it there. You're only limited by the amount of keys on your keyboard and your mouse. Honestly, you can pretty much do whatever you want, but this does make it really easy for you to set this up. I'll probably add something on here to stop my ship to go full speed, just to make those hotkeys as well. Maybe I'll hotkey it to my mouse or something. I haven't really decided, but I'll play around with it more. I encourage you to kind of play around with it, figure out what works for you. Again, this is Knox Emulator. I don't know how hotkeys work on any of the other emulators. This is just what I'm recommending. Keep in mind, emulators are not officially supported by the development team, so NetEase and CCP do not support emulators. They are allowed. You can't do any kind of scripts or anything. There's no botting allowed, but there's nothing against hotkeys and multi-boxing. So you can have multiple screens open as long as you're having to do everything yourself. As long as there's not a bot system, a software system that's doing things for you. Emulators are otherwise legal to use. So I hope that helps. And we'll be doing some more tutorials. We're going to try to do some gunnery stuff. We're going to do some basic fleet communication, basic fleet call outs, how to get into fleet, stuff like that, as well as just some basic streams. And we are still on schedule. Friday evenings, we will still be doing the regular Canis Kerensky show. So hop on by for that. We've got some good stuff coming up this week, some news. And yeah, we will see you all then. Thanks for joining us and see you next time.